this incredibly potent Darkseer Earth Spirit combo, which we've seen from them and many teams in the past. That can be terrifying if the performance and execution is there.
I look at IG's lineup and I see brawling. These guys want to kill heroes. That's about it. Multiple heroes that can use the Ion Shell to get on top of the Drow Ranger and do massive amounts of magic damage. But as for hitting buildings, like the panel mentioned, there is next to nothing.
True.
While Newbee's approach is they have good amount of team fights, very strong lanes with that last pick OD versus the Ember Spirit, and ways to force objectives.
Yeah, and this, I mean, the last pick OD, we saw what Newbee did the other day, didn't we, with SCCC, and it was absolutely phenomenal. They were confident with it then. You can see sort of from their faces in the booth, they seemed like they looked pretty happy with the fact that they finished off this draft with an OD. And it really is, as the panel was saying, and as you sort of mentioned, if they can win the lanes, if they can start to push before these sort of crucial items, maybe these blink daggers and such, and maybe an item of survivability for the Ember Spirit comes online, this game could potentially become a bit of a steamroll in favor of Newbee.
Yeah, this game could become quite a blunder. Also, Newbee has incredibly high team fight, and they're on two of their most comfortable players on the two most comfortable heroes that they've played throughout the majority of this tournament. Kaka on the Sand King, like the panel said, 50% play rate here at this tournament, and KP on the puck, been playing it majority of the times, and on top of that, it's with a Drow aura.
Yeah, definitely in my opinion, on this side of IG, a lot of eyes onto this combo. XXS Darkseer, and of course, the one and only Baboka Earth Spirit. If these two can pull off the plays, set things up for the side, it could certainly put a full stop to Newbee's plan this game.
It's a lot of pressure on Baboka and XXS in this game, in my opinion, for their fights. They have to land super crucial vacuum combos with the Baboka stuns, because he's their only real disable. They have chains and Baboka stuns, that's it. So it's really up to Baboka and the Darkseer to make big things happen in those fights. Newbee in a very aggressive position, looking for a very early first blood. Baboka walking up.
Yeah, they're going to get it by the looks of it. Indeed, Baboka spotted out straight away as they're there prepared on the high ground, and he's gone. First blood.
Who gets it too?
KP.
Oh, KP gets it too. This is, I was going to point this out before too. So if they put the Lich Ember mid and they have Darkseer Earth Spirit top, this is a puck with Drow Aura versus a Bloodseeker. This is not easy for the Bloodseeker. Even though you can get your sustain, if there's harassment in the other lanes as well, your thirst can build up. But the fact that it's a puck with Drow Aura and now with first blood on top, so he's going to have boots to be able to always keep his distance, it's going to be very tough for him.
I mean, that's the thing as well. We saw how well KP played his lane last game, and that was when he didn't have the Drow Aura. So as you say, with that thrown in, that bottom lane, IG have got to be very careful on how well they can control it. As in terms of their supports, as the panel mentioned, we can probably expect to see Q hover around the mid lane for the most part of the laning stage, do you feel, to help out?
Definitely. Needs to help the Ember Spirit versus OD. That is already an OD favored matchup. Throw a Drow Aura match on top. Throw SCCC, one of the most best OD players too. That's extremely tough. And Kaka's actually going to start at bottom too. So Bloodseeker is going to be very susceptible to getting pressured and not really getting any last hits in these waves, because he also did not get his bounty. So he does not have that poor man shield start for those right clicks. Right away they start the zone.
Yeah, we'll see how well Burning can do under the pressure on this bottom lane. He certainly did deal with the pressure very well last time, but as we saw, for the most part, that was just KP alone. And at least on the PL, he had a sort of escape mechanism on this Bloodseeker. If he doesn't get those last hits, if he doesn't get that regen, it's going to be incredibly hard for him to sustain in this lane. Yeah,
and they don't have their pull open either, so Baboka can't pull the lane back. They do have the side camp in, but KP actually has the advantage, Newbee has the advantage being able to pull that Centaur camp now, taking that, and it's going to deny a good chunk of farm there. And if we look at the top lane too, Newbee does have their pull open, Faith right away, stacks the pull, starts pulling it back into their favor.
Oh, so it's going to be Kaka actually getting the kill onto Baboka there. The two of them chasing down the Earth Spirit. That's the second kill on the board here for Newbee. And this is not how the IG can afford to have this bottom lane go. We talked about already the struggles of Burning. If he has Baboka, essentially giving that bonus to the enemy dual lane, it's going to only get harder and harder. Mid lane, I mean, we're seeing both Q and OP essentially being bullied back by this SCCC OD.
I think he got 2 mana procs from his Essence Aura there, so a little bit lucky by SCCC, but yeah, skilling the Arcane Orb to harass back rather than going for Astral for last hits. Because he doesn't need to use the Astral for last hits since he has the Drow Aura so much. This at least puts pressure and threatens them from trying to dive him.
Baboka just with the level 1 at the moment, I mean, very hard for him to make any sort of action happen. Bottom lane, Burning again being looked to. He is on his own. Kaka leading him with the Burrow Strike again.
Look at KP's skill build too. They really just want to go for kills.
The orb doesn't connect though. If it did, that would have certainly been a dead Bloodseeker, but at the least it's forcing him back. Mid lane, Q does have the invis, looking to set up onto SCCC. Rolling forward, they've got the change, they do have the control. They'll get the kill. Big pick off there for IG, making something happen there in this mid lane.
Not having the defensive Astral to put himself under, of course, with the build that he went for. So good rotation by Baboka. Yeah, KP unfortunately missing that ore bottom is pretty costly. Have to use it, spend a lot of mana to try to go for burning. And this time he doesn't have the CM aura. But we'll see him rush Soul Ring. That's the thing now.
In this mid lane, IG definitely doing a good job of securing it for OP.
Yeah.
Gets him involved in that kill, now with a severe lead in terms of CS in this first 3 minutes, double that of SCCC.
To be expected. You know,
Yes,
they're putting the
presence.
focus onto burning. You look at him, he's only 7 last hits. Still getting experience, but Kaka trying to find an opportunity, but burning very well aware of that.
And certainly this is the decision from IG. Make sure that OP has a good start and just accept that burning is going to have to be sacked in this early laning stage.
They're doubling up the wave a bit in the mid lane. They saw Baboka making the rotation in though, and they do have the reaction coming in from Faith.
With Faith, it nearly has that level 3 as well. Definite potential to turn any sort of play round that IG may look for.
Now they might just match a duel lane, and they just leave the Drow Ranger top, and that's where Baboka, like the panel was mentioning, punish those weak lanes. That's what he has to be doing as this Earth Spirit, and as soon as the Visage does leave, they can try to go for these dives, because he can close the distance onto Drow.
And he's got the level 2. If he can get in there with the slow and the stun,
There's no Gust either.
this is definitely the potential for setup. He just needs to find the connection and Baboka straight in, and of course he hits it. Gets the slow off, playing around with him, making sure to get maximum use of the time to just hover around the Drow, get that Iron Shell damage in, and IG with a good read of the map, as you say, and making great use of it.
Yeah, perfect move. Spotting the rotation again now with that aggressive ward placed by Baboka during the rotation. So he sees Faith moving back top, and we'll see him probably put his pressure elsewhere. Maybe take an Ion Shell and TP somewhere, or just go claim bounty runes. Burning, getting no last hits. This is just, it's accepted now at this point. He knows it.
Certainly should be a little bit of a worry as well for IG. We saw how much KP could achieve last game with the start that he had, and he is definitely on track to have a similar one this game. Picks up the treads, 5 minutes in, second highest on CS. Mid lane, Kaka with the wrap around, straight in onto the Lich. OP's there with 2-man change to hold them back. Q.
One more hit.
Himself away. No, he can't. SCCC moves in, gets the kill. At the same time, though, bottom lane, Baboka moved in, had the control, and a kill that Burning is going to be over the moon with, finally being able to bring down KP and get a bit more space for this Bloodseeker.
Yeah, getting the Ion Shell on himself to have that extra damage, they wouldn't have been able to clean up KP otherwise, and you saw him skill the Geomantic Grip at level 3 on the Earth Spirit for that silence. It's the only way they can really go for those setups on the puck. This silence can play a big factor in this game versus the puck and both the OD. OD does not like to build BKB too early on. This could be one of the games we do see it, since there's a heavy amount of magical from IG though. But more than likely just the standard Hurricane Pike build first.
Yeah, middle lane, CS-wise for SCCC, 25 against the 37, so OP still with this definite lead.
Yeah, still doing super well though. Level 5, he's got a clear-cut level advantage there, and the fact that he's still farming versus that type of duel lane is impressive. Baboka takes the haste turn, makes the way bottom. Bloodseeker's almost 6, they have the blood right too, so if they get the connections, they could maybe go for KP, but still a hard kill.
Look at this from Newbee. Smoke up, Kaka with the Tranquils. Can certainly look to try and close the gap.
Before Ember hits 6, they do still have kill threshold, but it's not in the greatest spot right now.
And it is a tricky one with that Flame Guard and such. Not the easiest of kills for Newbee to try and go for, and at the same time, look where Baboka is. He's there, ready behind them. Level 4 on this Earth Spirit.
Well, they're going to make the play
first. They got ones to go indeed. They look straight towards SCCC. Silence after the root with the Boulder Smash as well on target. That's SCCC gone. Kaka comes in with a 2-man Burrow Strike, but it doesn't look like they actually have the damage to bring down the members of IG. They throw out the Soul Soldier with the Flame Guard up on OP. He's fine, and Baboka grabs himself the double kill. Baboka again in the right position at the right time. Beautifully positioned there on the high ground. 4 kills so far in this Earth Spirit. We've seen him do it in the past, and here in this game too, where IG need to step it up. He's certainly having the impact that his team require in these lanes.
Those are the kind of rotations. It's like the split-second decision. Newbee decides like, okay, we're going to start making our way back toward top, and as soon as that happens, Baboka of course doesn't see that, but it's like a little bit of that luck scenario. They both make the move at it's very similar times, but Newbee was starting to press their way elsewhere. They do get the kill.
Zone complete as well on this Earth Spirit. Baboka having it very early on.
Level 4. Successful rotations all around. 4, 2, and 1. All 5 kills. Now Kaka's playing just directly behind SCCC.
I mean, this mid lane is very scary. Look, Matt's TP is coming out, reaction, in fact, from both of them. Of course, KP coming in as well with the dragon.
Chain frost, though.
Baboka falling low, moving forward, OP trying to go for SCCC, but they're out of mana. Ghost comes out from Mugi, on to 2, and this time Newbee. They take 2, they take 3.
They literally bring everyone.
And it pays off absolutely massively there. KP and Mugi making sure that they can turn around what, for the most part, has been absolute chaos in this mid lane. IG throwing everything down it. And Newbee finally shutting it down, stemming the bleeding, and getting SCCC back and involved in some great action.
You don't see your Drow Ranger TP that often, but when they know that this triple aggression is coming out from IG, it's worth it. Picking up huge kills there. And now continuing their movement, trying to put pressure onto Burning with Kaka's rotation.
They do have the Rupture, they do have Baboka. Kaka, he's going to be gone upon straight away. He'll go, try and hide in the Sandstorm, but of course with the silence from the Geomagnetic Grip and the Blood Ride, no escape for Kaka.
Let's get the stun up before he dies. Burning looks like he's going to drop here.
In fact, look who's in. It's Mugi on the Drow. He's come all the way down to this point. They try and kick Burning away. It's not going to be enough as Burning and Baboka do go down as well. SCCC, Mugi, KP. I mean, these guys now, they've had enough of this early aggression from IG. They're from the mid lane to the bottom lane. The same time, up on the top, Faith was on his own trying to pick up some solo XP. OP and XXS will punish it. But this is Newbee getting incredibly active with all 3 of their cores very early on because of the way that IG's playing. They're adapting to it brilliantly.
Yeah, exact. Adaptation is the word I was going to use. They went to mid, get that great move. They have the Shrine up. They Shrine, clear an Ancient, and then go Bottom and try to pressure Burning, and they get it successfully.
Burning will be here to keep them off this bottom lane. Does have to be careful. I mean, KP's got the Dream Coil back up. He's level 8 on this Drow. Mugi's certainly packing a punch. OP and XXS on the hunt. For Kaka up top. Kaka's got the vision there with the ward though, knows their exact position. Bottom lane, Baboka coming in again. They have Rupture back up on Burning. They're going to look to try and make a play immediately there with the silence, keeping this puck in control underneath the cover of the Blood Bright. And that, again, an easy pick up for IG. No reaction this time from Newbee. They can't react like they have been every time.
Baboka Earth Spirit, man.
Really, so I mean, we said at the start, this is the guy that you've got to look to sort of secure these lanes early on.
Yeah.
Sure, he's died a few times, but he absolutely has made a huge impact, setting up kills for both Burning and, of course, getting the action on for OP in that mid lane as well.
Next couple moments, we'll probably see IG playing more around the Darkseer. Not around him exactly, but like with the benefiting of the Ion Shell, because they have the level 6 on the Ember Spirit, and they can always use that to enable him harder. Blade Mill is going to be the choice for OP.
Interesting. I mean, I guess it makes sense if they want to just run into them and stop Newbee reacting as they are. An early Blade Mail is going to do wonders on the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, it's super good. It gives you everything you really want versus a Drow and an OD lineup. It gives you Int versus the OD, and it gives you Armor versus the Drow Ranger, and of course the reflecting damage.
So Kaka coming forward, the silence there, straight away from Baboka, rolling forward, but Kaka already off to the side. Baboka won't be able to fully control the Sand King. Kaka gets himself away.
Ogi's looking to make another rotation come out. Dragonlance finished up. KP positioned on the side for
a
the
Dream Coil and a move forward from Mugi could certainly do it.
Baboka knows though. Baboka's already making the move down bottom.
He needs to get down here quick, and he will indeed. There's the boulder smash onto 2, and the silence into the Blood Right holds them back. Burning can now move in, close the gap onto Mugi. Mugi tries to get him away, but Mugi's gone. Baboka.
He's everywhere. He's reading all of the movements.
He really is. Top lane to bottom lane, Baboka is really out. He's putting the work in here in this game too. Involved in 8 of the 9 kills that IG have done so far.
Like we said, he's the one. Him and the Darkseer have the big heavy weight on their backs to let the early game work well for IG. This is now level 6. Well, Faith, or level 7 actually. So Faith has found a decent amount of farm and levels across the map during all these rotations.
And Mugi been moving around quite a bit now. The Dragon Lance treads now looking towards having that Shadow Blade done.
That kind of move to their bottom might deter Newbee from making too many aggressive plays without more numbers. Like two heroes, now they're going to probably not do it with just 2. They're probably going to bring 3 or 4 even to try to go for those kills.
KP very close to having that Blink Dagger done, and they need everything that they can get to try and get the jump onto Baboka, or by all means avoid his initiation. You know, one silence could definitely set up for Newbee to bring down that Earth Spirit. but not if he gets the jump like he has been.
We've got Mech now finished up for XXS. Smoke coming out from them. Smoke
Both
also bottom
sides.
from Newbee. They're going to be going for burning. This one should be easier to get if they can get the coil, though.
I mean, he's heading back. We'll see if any reaction comes in. I mean, Newbee not wanting to dive too deep onto this tier 1 burning, keeping himself hidden behind the tower. IG position around that mid tier 1. See if anyone comes in from the side of Newbee to hold off as OP starts to force the lane in.
Both teams very patient.
Looks like neither is going to bite. OP now, with the blade mail complete, has an arcane rune in the bottom as well, so he'll feel very content with taking a fight if it comes to him. Kaka heads towards mid. Now OP trying to find the chains, moves in with the blade mail. Kaka quick with the burrow strike back, and now S-Triple C. TP's into mid, forces IG back. For now, Baboka though in the tree line, ready to roll in from the side. Has the Iron Shell upon him. Newbee have to be careful how they defend this, especially with just the 2 members they have here at the moment.
Yep, and IG has the full mech, so that makes it a lot scarier for Newbee to fight into.
Kaka, he's looking for it again with the burrow strike out. Baboka tries for the grip. They will get the connection with the chains. Gus comes out onto 2. Mugi holding them back. S-Triple-C straight in with the sanities, but then the chain frost bouncing the vacuum of well. It's perfect. S-Triple-C's gone. The magnetage from Baboka as he moves in onto the second core, trying to close the gap onto Mugi. Keeps it going. He's still got a couple more rocks to drop down. Border smash. He shoots. He scores. Baboka takes down Mugi on the back lines of it. Kaka tried to come in with the epicenter, but OP still with the blade mail and the flame guard up, ready to close the gap onto the Sand King. Kaka burrow strikes forward, but he can't create the distance that he needs to get out. As IG take 3. Look right there, they look for the birds and they get them as well. A cheeky couple of 100 bonus for burning.
This is starting to be a bit scary for Newbee with their Drow Ranger lineup. Ideally, you want to be having the advantage in the early game, but IG with that mech just being able to run at them with their heroes. Like we said, the gap closing is there for them, and they're making it work. Burning starting to get involved in more and more kills. 3-1, even though being placed in a very unfortunate matchup bottom. S-Triple-C tried to go for the Sanity's Eclipse to them right at the start, so they wouldn't have the mana after that engagement, but they have sick charges. They have enough to be able to take the fight.
We see it here again. I mean, it almost looks like, you know, Mugi and S-Triple-C focusing have a chance, but indeed the stick charges, S-Triple-C taking down, and then Baboka, just beautiful rock control. Mugi, he's pretty much as good as dead here as Baboka just chases him down. Baboka, as you can see on the camera, playing it cool, kicks out the rock. Easy pick off as he rips Newbee apart from each other.
5, 4, and 6 on our Spirit.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Absolutely creating the chaos that IG's lineup needs to do against this Drow draft of Newbee.
They claimed the first tower in the game versus a Drow lineup with, like the panel said and like we were talking about, there's like little to no actual objective takers on the side of IG. It just comes naturally through the brawl. You have to get kills into towers, not just direct tower pushing. Newbee does claim one at the same time pretty much though, but waiting for familiars to be back online from Newbee before they want to try to take any fights. And then also, I think Kaka's Blink Dagger is really significant on top of KP, because then they have the combo. That's pretty much how the strengths are. It's IG wants to be playing mostly around the Ember Spirit and the Darkseer, with of course, you know, Baboka making plays like a madman, and Newbee wants to be playing mostly around the pocket.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Q doing alright on levels as well, level 10 still. Very poor, of course, on the Lich, bottom of the net worth. But yeah, same levels at the moment on Q as there is on KP's puck, so just goes to show. And some of IG supports are heavily benefiting off these last few fights.
Yeah. And the panel said it too, it's like in these fights when IG is grouped up and just running at Newbee, they have the ice armor too, so the damage is, the physical damage is
They ain't trying to fight. I mean, Kaka takes a chain frost to the face. Off the stick charges. OP, he's going to get taken down. KP just jumps forward with the orb. They may even get more here. They're trying to go into Baboka, rolls forward, silence, the stun onto 2, the magnetize as well. S-Triple-C, they're going to back up with the vacuum. The wall's there. IG, they take one. They're almost certainly going to get S-Triple-C as well as he puts himself in the Astral, but he's gone. Again, Baboka. Even in these situations where Newbee, they kill OP, Baboka just rolls straight in up to the high ground, lands the combo, the backups there from XXS. This Spirit, I mean, Newbee just can't seem to do anything when Baboka's alive.
He's landing perfect setups every single time, and it always seems like XXS is there to back him up too, with like a vacuum or with the Ion Shell as well, to enable it to become even better. Burning, getting closer and closer toward that relic for the Radiance. So this was with the precision aura that time from the Visage, but here we see the roll in, the kick during the roll, so he gets the perfect stun and silence follow-up. Perfectly executed.
And there's just no way you as Newbee get out. As you say, it's going to be down to BKBs, but that's still a while away for these heroes. And as you say, on the OD, not necessarily the one you want to be building straight up, but SCCC is almost certainly going to have to get it eventually. He's obviously going for the Dragon Lance, the Hurricane Pike first, which will help a little bit in terms of positioning, trying to avoid that combo.
The big ones is definitely the double blinks, though. That's how they need to be able to take those fights. The puck and the Sanking need to be in synergy together to get the follow-up counter initiation if Baboka does go for those plays. Because so far it's really the Baboka show a lot of the time so far in this game. 13 of the 14 kills.
Veil now done on OP, so going to add extra potential to Baboka's combo.
KP spotting out OP. OP throws a defensive remnant though, a secondary defensive remnant.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Not too much that KP can do on his own. I mean, you can try and have a play around. He does have the Dream Coil. We'll start feeding around at each other. IG though, the rest of them going for the smoke, wrap around towards the mid lane. Mugi in the neighborhood. We'll see how deep Baboka wants to go. Mugi already actually backing up to the high ground. Looks like he's aware that something's happening here. A lot of members off the map. The scan
catches.
Yeah, hits as well. And their suspicions are confirmed.
Now he has full Shadow Blade picked up, so if they don't have reveal, but they do. Baboka already has Dust, so he's prepared for that before it was finished up. But he'll be able to get himself into some positioning for the Shadow Blade in some of those situations. And maybe he can even just go for the ganks. Maybe that's what he wants to try to be. Go for the ganks with the puck and the Sanking on that Ember Spirit.
Understandable as well from SCCC. Actually, after getting the 4-star, he takes the Hurricane Pike out the quick buy. Straight for the
BKB. Yeah, I think it's needed for them to kind of like chew their way back into this game. Link Sanking, BKB OD, and BKB Drow Ranger.
Burning about 600 away from that full Radiance. Something else to throw into the chaos of these fights that these heroes on Newbee are certainly going to struggle to deal with.
KP's just been cutting the bottom wave for, I think it's been like a minute and a half now or something. He just keeps clearing that one out instantly.
And see how these blinks come into play. They've got it on Kaka. We're waiting for the big reveal of him on the Sand King. Epicenter at the ready, of course. What sort of setup can they get?
They don't have
question.
They didn't go for like pipe early or anything. He went for the Guardian Greaves, of course. We'll probably see him. We could see him go for pipe after. It's the Sanking and the puck are always pretty threatening. But Newbee look like they're trying to make an aggressive play here with those Blink Daggers finished up. As we were talking about, that's their one of their timing windows before the BKBs come out.
They've got to be so clean with this, or at least catch the Earth Spirit on the back. If they don't get Baboka in the start of this and he's in the neighborhood, he is definitely going to be able to turn things around.
They see Mugi farming with their aggressive ward right now. Maybe IG's just going to be able to sneak in and get Mugi during this while his team is also smoking. Let's see who matches up who. Who's going to get the high ground advantage? Newbee right now has it.
They're coming around on the back. IG up by the shrine of Newbee. They have the high ground advantage here as they sort of take over Newbee's half of the map. And Newbee.
Burning has no TP to get into this fight too if it does happen.
That's both birds gone immediately. That's the Familiars down. It does have the resummon available.
Both teams looking to fight, but neither able to find it.
And IG straight back to pushing down this mid lane here. SCCC, Uber Club still a while away from that BKB. Roll forward from Baboka, seeing if he can catch that OD. OP very close to having the boost of travel, so we'll be able to maintain a bit of better control of these side lanes, which for the time being, Newbee, they are focusing and now starting to group up as a Drow lineup. They push down bottom, they take the tier 2 tower. With the Familiars moving forward, we'll see if they want to try and pressure onto the tier 3. The creeps are already up there. They're keeping KP and Kaka down at the moment now.
Precision Aura Catapult, look at how much damage they get on that tier 3 bottom in a couple hits. Over 60 damage per hit. Now the Precision Aura does wear off.
Response there from Burning though, looking to clean it up. It's going to mean that he's not around for this fight, and IG, they are still certainly looking for action inside Newbee's jungle, but Newbee doing a very good job at avoiding IG at this stage.
Very deep aggressive wards coming up from IG. They're looking to just take fights, take engagements.
And you can see that bottom, Kaka and KP maybe even thinking about going in on Burning. They've got the Epicenter and the Dream Coil.
They've got the birds as well on the side too.
At the moment just staying hidden in the trees.
Burning knows something's up. He doesn't. They have very good wards right now on the side of IG. So when he doesn't see anybody under those wards, doesn't see the Drow farming, doesn't see OD farming, all that's showing is a Visage on the map. There's something going on. But now he's starting to step up. Kaka channeling.
He's going for it. The Epi's coming out. He's going to try and close the gap. Will get the Burrow Strike. In come the Familiars and KP, but
far.
It's not enough. And now mass TP reactions come in. The Rupture's down to Kaka. He'll try for the TP out, but the Chain Frost mini stun is there.
And KP in the back.
And indeed, OP straight in on the back lines with the chains. They'll clean up one of the birds as well. And just trying to force the issue a little bit too much there from Newbee. They've got to stay patient. As IG, as we've seen time and time again, they can respond to these sort of plays. I mean, even if they made the full connection, it could be questionable if the damage would be quite there. I mean, this is Bloodseeker 1700 HP, has that Radiance as well.
They would have had to get it pretty much like much further away from the base and have to get both of them on top of him right away for all the damage, because Bloodseeker has been, you know, quiet this game. He's not really too active after the laning phase, after those kills. He's just been farming away. It's level 16, and Bloodseeker is one of those heroes, one of the Agis with very high strength gain, 2.7 per level, and that level 10 talent of the 225 HP, so he does get very durable.
And it just seems a bit of a turnaround in terms of what we saw in game one. You know, game one, Newbee very much having a draft that benefited from this sort of slowdown, slow in pace, and this time around IG, they're the ones that are going to come out on top with the Iron Shell, with the Ember, the Bloodseeker. They're going to be farming a lot quicker than that of Newbee. As Newbee with this Drow lineup, they were looking to take, as you say, objectives. And what we're coming to 24 minutes in, they've only taken the tier 1 and the tier 2 down bottom. There's still 2 tier 1 towers that this Drow lineup has failed to push down and take. Yeah,
and the perfection that you want as a Drow lineup is you get the early tier 1s, and then you can make your way into Roche as a 5-man unit, and you get that Aegis, and then, yeah, that deathfall kind of happens. IG's not allowing it. They're keeping this pressure going. And this time around, it's, you know, we mentioned KP in the last game so much about how crazy of an impact he had. He doesn't have Midas this time around. He needs to have the Yule Scepter from all the, you know, the chains from the Ember Spirit and the amount of silences they have from the Bloodseeker and Earth Spirit. He needs more survivability. Top scan actually catches Boogie.
Yeah, he finds it straight away. The Yule's catch is there. That scan into Baboka heading straight into the tree line, resulting in a free kill onto Mugi.
And some drum rolls.
Very nicely done there by Baboka. I mean, it's always hard to tell who made the call to make that scan happen.
We'll give him the credit.
We'll give him the credit. He deserves it anyway.
Yeah, he's been absolutely a monster this game.
Success. Kaka's around, but Kaka quick with the blink away. And interesting as well, actually, as we're seeing the Darks here. This game XXS, he's looking to go straight for the Halberd after the blink, knowing that if they can stay ahead like this, if they can disarm some of these big heroes, if we talk about big heroes, Baboka mid lane, he's just playing around with SCCC. He'll go for the TP out. Will he make it? No. The vacuum's there. Rupture's out as well. He'll turn around, drop the Sanities, looking to try and find the Earth Spirit. KP with the Dream Core, bringing Baboka down level. Baboka surprised at 5s. SCCC just finishes it off, but he pays with his own life. Again, Baboka doing everything, even when he goes down, setting up for glory for his team. KP will jump away. Does get the blink off, but it's another fight, another trade favoring that of IG, getting this SCCC down on the OD once again.
Yeah, Newbee's still on recovery, complete recovery mode. They need that BKB to be able to take the fights versus IG. They're getting closer and closer on both heroes though, about 1,500 away from Mugi and also 400 gold away on OD. Once they've got both of those two, they can start taking the fights versus this mass magic damage lineup, but there still is the factor that Burning has just been absolutely free farming during all of this, getting a couple kills here and there too to accelerate him forward. I mean, when he gets a BKB too, he can just kind of run into them, unless he wants to go, it looks like an S and Y, I believe, just have that movement speed, more scaling potential. Doesn't really feel like he needs the BKB just yet, because they're the ones making the aggressive moves.
Newbee have to be incredibly careful how they come out in the lanes. I mean, you're seeing mid lane Kaka trying to farm it up.
So many gap so many gap closures in IG, and they're even itemizing even more so. Blink Dagger on the Darts here like you saw before. OP picks up a Blink Dagger on the Ember too. So just trying to get into those back lines on top of the Drow Ranger.
I'll take your tribute.
Baboka eyeing up Kaka. Kaka does have Mugi relatively close. We'll see if Mugi comes across. Looks like Mugi's already out of there. He says, sorry, mate. There's no saving you. He'll try for the TP out. The familiar stuns are going to give him some.
Oh, he gets it. Oh, he dies in the base.
The damage is too much indeed from the Magnetize. Baboka gets it. The resummon will be there as well, just to make sure that they can't farm up the familiars. Gust a little too late on OP, as he's quick with the Remnant out.
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
As the tower down as well, Mugi will get the deny as Victus Gaming maintain their lead. As you say, things certainly can change when the BKBs come out, and we must not write off the fact that Newbee, if they do win a team fight, this lineup, it's going to take Roshan. It's going to take towers.
Yeah. They pick up a gem too. They're feeling the pressure. That's for certain. Gem now finished up on Faith, so they want to be able to take out those wards because they're playing just completely reactionary. They're playing very defensive as they need to be until that match community starts coming out on their big heroes.
And now as well, we see consistently using the familiars to get the vision that they require, trying to position them in between both sides to make it increasingly harder for IG to find that jump that they've been getting away with so many times this game so far. KP, have to be careful, Baboka's on the hunt. KP's already out though.
So IG picks up their own gem too, to take out the small vision that Newbee has. They feel like Newbee's evading a little bit too many of their movements. But all in the meanwhile, like we said, Burning, just farming. Full SNY finished, BKB's queued up, already level 19. Gets very scary once Bloodseeker starts to get those high levels. That level 25 is no joke. If he wants to go for the Blood Ray cooldown, it can be very strong. Even the lifesteal though in this one could prove to be incredibly good for the man fight, or for like him just getting in the face of the Drow and just standing toe to toe. Smoke now coming out. They've got everything. Their whole arsenal is prepared. Newbee though, 1 BKB finished, 2 BKBs finished, and they've got a pipe as well on Faith.
That's really nice.
That could be go time for them as well. This one's going to be about high ground and who gets the big initiation.
I mean, if they can allow it, you know, SCCC on this OD, you get a lot done in these fights.
Yeah.
If he starts to rack up that in and drop the sanities, a lot of heroes are susceptible, especially the cores on IG's lineup.
As long as they can get the good lockdown for him to do so. They need the puck and the Senking to be alive and get a couple heroes inside of the coil and the burrow for them to stack up that hint on the OD and for the Drow Ranger to start getting those hits off. But now it's actually IG making their way into the pit. They do have Blood Rage that they can throw onto the Roche after they break the Lincolns.
You know that it's going on with the familiars, of course. And the first stun will start to slow IG down, and IG are actually put off immediately by the fact that they know that Newbee is aware of what's going on. Newbee are heading over under the cover of smoke.
That's probably the hardest place for IG to fight, inside the Roche pit, just because of the sheer AoE ultimates that Newbee does have in comparison.
Still playing around them.
They're trying to make
a stuns.
Play on these familiars, it looks like. IG is aware though.
Newbee on the low ground. They themselves actually sneaking into Roshan. XXS leading forward, Mugi with the Shadow Blade.
This time they'll get the familiars though. Gotta resummon.
As you say, very unlikely that they'll go back into the pit when they know that Newbee's on the prowl.
This time Faith's spending a lot of, as expected, he's playing the Visage, so he's being the more of the farmer. While last time it was, of course, Kaka on the Night Stalker. Since it's a Drow Visage lineup, he wants to be the one prioritizing that farm. Senking only really needs like Blink and Yules or 4-Stab / BKB to do his damage.
Things certainly continuing to slow down again, this sort of similar point at game 1. But Burning absolutely leading the charge at 1,000 gold, and BKB will be complete for him.
Yeah, both teams just trying to shove each other's lanes into each other and take a better fight, but they're both smoking pretty much at the same times and kind of avoiding each other in those situations. The 5v5 fight is still very threatening from Newbee. That's the thing is, it's only a 4K lead for IG. That can get completely changed in one small engagement. So Burning almost got the BKB now finished up. That could be where they try to make a fight around. That match community would be super useful versus the puck and Senking.
Definitely once that Solar Crest is there on Faith. Newbee, if they can get a look at onto Roshan, they'll be able to take it down incredibly quick. Well, actually, mid lane KP, they're jaunting forward to the Illusory Orb, gets punished immediately with a boulder smash and the drag back from the vacuum. XXS seeing if he can find more. Rollfall from Baboka, jump forward as well from OP Kaka, holds back the Darkseer for some time with the Burrow Strike, but now he himself in trouble, stunned up by the boulder smash. Newbee, they're going to lose 2 here. 2 down, both without buyback. IG to look towards Roche, and that indeed does seem to be the plan. Straight into the pit, Burning goes.
No buybacks, yeah, there's free Roche for them this time. That was what, KP just jaunted forward, huh?
Yeah.
Wanted to clear the quick wave out and didn't expect them to be there, I guess. Yeah.
Instant punish from IG, not letting anything slip past them this game.
Yep. No medallion, but like we said, the Blood Rage on the Broche makes it incredibly fast for them to bring it down.
And with the Frost Armor, of course, on themselves, relatively safe.
Yeah.
And we have it. So Aegis into the hands of Burning. Newbee still very much on the back foot this game. 22-11 as IG hold this lead. Trying to push this series to that game 3. Baboka very close to having the blink. I mean, we've already seen how much he can do without it. Only imagine what he gets done with it. Newbee at this point just sticking together as 5. They can't afford to get caught out as they have been.
Yeah, they're really expecting IG to make all these first moves. Especially now with that Aegis, they don't want to make an aggressive one themselves.
There's the blink. Complete now for Baboka. Of course, the real test is going to be when IG come to pushing up to the high ground. Obviously in comparison and in contrast to Newbee's lineup, they themselves not the best lineup for taking down towers, even though I say that, and they've done a lot more than this Drow strat in terms of removing towers from the map.
Yeah, they've been having a lot more of the map control because of that, so it's letting them farm just a bit more, and that's why they're pulling further and further ahead. So those 2 tier 1s still being up on the side of IG. Newbee's map is much smaller.
Now the smoke play. No wards from Newbee over on IG's half of the map there, so Newbee will not be too aware of this.
Full halberd and a plate mail finished on XXX.
It could be the one to get jumped on and indeed immediately. Baboka sees him straight away, going in with the combo.
No mercy.
Absolutely none whatsoever. Yeah, we'll see how much they can get done with this window. As we said, IG's lineup not under too much pressure at all to go for any incredibly rash plays, but I'm going to move down the mid anyway. See if they can force anything out from Newbee. We've John SCCC already, keeping him at bay. Burning starting to hit into the tier 3. Jump forward, there's the vacuum, there's the combo as well with the chain frost. Oh my goodness, SCCC and Faith wiped out of the game immediately.
No buyback on SCCC either.
There'll be a buyback from Faith. Mugi pops the Shadow Blade to dodge the slight change combo. But IG taking SCCC down for a full minute will get away with at least the melee ranks in this middle lane. They'll stick around for the ranged as well. And as we saw there, you cannot allow IG to jump on you like that. The combo, the execution is exactly at the level that IG have been required to bring out against Newbee this game.
Absolutely perfect. Yeah, but Baboka having a almost flawless game, to be honest. 8 and 14, so 22 of the 25 kills with him. And XXS as well. You just take a look at their scores, like 4-0 and 15 on the Darks here, involved in the majority as well. They're just having great teamwork coming out from these guys.
Dire are scanning.
Warm racks down.
Newbee's feeling very pressured. I think they have to almost smoke up and take a fight with their BKBs because they've had them for quite a while now. They have to do something with them. IG's just splitting them up and then getting the jump on them every single time. They have to change the pace.
Up to 3k gold on Mugi. He may want to try and get his hands on his next big item, but as you say, the more that they postpone it, the harder it's going to get. And indeed, straight up, the call's being made as the team.
Still a minute and a half on the Aegis too. That's the problem. This could be very tough for Newbee to take the fight first.
Look at Baboka's positioning already. Up there on the cliff. No way that they could come around here. IG starting to take control of Newbee's half of the map. Newbee's only real safe place being this one more that they have out and their own high ground. IG ready to take the next tier 2. Open up the potential for getting the mega creeps. Taking down some more lane of barracks.
Getting as much as they can out of that Aegis. And Newbee unable to find opportunities with that smoke. They just split up and all try to farm. But now IG's going to threaten that high ground, force reactions back. Newbee's on position here. They may try to go right away. That's one of the things we do like to see when teams are a bit behind. They try to make the jump right away, but maybe waiting for that Aegis.
And there's the Familiar's gone just like that. And Faith still 25 seconds for the resummon.
Aegis has 30 seconds, 27 seconds left on it.
There's the jump forward from Kaka. Burrows tries to lead in. OP tries for the change combo. Doesn't find the connection. Silence onto Burning, but he'll be surged out of there.
They forced everyone back. Time to reset, farm up. Aegis is going to be taking out, and they're perfectly fine with this 13k lead. The map is closing more and more for Newbee.
Absolutely not a position you would want to be in at all as a Drow lineup.
Yeah, and you look at the, I mean, even looking at that experience, you just look at their levels. It's like 13 on Sand King, 15 on Visage, 17 on Puck, and then all the rest of IG's heroes start to come in. And like they were showing on the graph as well, the observers, they showed it's been rarely any opportunities for Newbee to get any kills. It's been 1 kill in the last 20 minutes. Actually in the last 20 minutes, just 2 towers and 1 kill.
What can they do? I mean, they're trying to close in on that MKB for Mugi. 1500 away from having it complete.
But his damage is already super minimal. That Frost armor, the Ice armor from the Lich has been putting in work throughout the slow amount of team fights that they've been able to take. And XSS building up a Shiva's too, a Halberd. He's got 41 armor on him. Very hard for Newbee to take those engagements.
And of course, the way that this Drow's had to build meant that the overall effect of the Drow is very minimal. No agi items really at all, on his big ones at least. Shadowblade, BKB, MKB, not doing much at all. I mean, still, it's a 60+ damage. It's a good passive, it's a good aura, but definitely not at the full potential that the Newbee's lineup may have hoped to because of the items that this Drow's been forced into.
Yeah, not the ideal Drow scenario at all. Like we said, the tier 1s ideally want to be dropped early on and going for that Roche so they can group up. IG has the high ground here. They do get a ward placed though by Newbee.
I'm going to spot out XXS. Currency trade with the jump in, Boris Strike trying to go burning, pop the BKB, there's the blood right in the back of it, but Boca goes forward. They're moving in on SCCC, pops the BKB, trying to get out, but Burning going forward, does get stunned, held back for the time being, but SCCC is so damn low and he's out of it. Down for 70 seconds, Faith moved in upon as well as Burning picks up the double kill. Kaka does get the end off, but he's dragged back into the combo, triple kill for Burning. As Newbee are crumbling here, GG is called, it's all too much for this Drow lineup, as IG turn up with the perfect in-your-face lineup, and it absolutely gets the job done, and there's no doubt about it. Full hats off to Baboka. This man,
amazing.
This Earth Spirit on the main